What's up, everybody? Welcome to Soul Chat with Jessica Ray, where you are getting soulfully satisfying, transformational talk. I got some tea in my cup, but we are going to be talking about the tea for transformation, okay? Today is a day where we are going to be debunking 10 mental health myths. How about that? When I say mental health, what comes to your mind? I know everybody has their idea of what mental health is, but we are going to be spelling it out today so you know exactly what to expect when you sit down in that seat. I hope you guys are ready. All right, let's go. All right, so let's take it to the streets and see what others have to say about mental health. Give us a skinny. What do you think about mental health? What would be your reservations or any myths that you have in your mind concerning mental health?
It's so crazy because the topic has come up more and more as time progressed, and I've been talking to close friends and family about our culture as a whole, just getting some sort of therapy for our mental health issues. I feel like it's very necessary. I feel like as a culture we deal with a lot of trauma and different things that we experience in our life, and it weighs in on your progression in life and how you deal with people and the relationships that you create, and how we've become accustomed to a certain behavior, but it's not typical behavior. You know what I mean? It's just sort of how we've learned to deal with certain issues that we picked up and learn behavior through history. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So it's passed down.
It's passed down.
So you're talking about like generational trauma. So grandma gave it to mom, mom gave it to daughter, and so forth and so on.
Yes, and we never really seek help to resolve the issues. You know what I mean? And we just keep taking it on and on and on, and then it's become a learned behavior.
Right, but what stops us from going to counseling? What's our issue with counseling as a people?
I don't think people are resourceful. I don't think they know that it's as simple as a phone call. I think they may feel like it could be costly, and so I feel like that is something that would stop people from getting some sort of therapy, or either they just don't know that it's available. They probably feel like also too that they may be frowned upon, or like they have a problem that no one else has by getting some sort of therapy. So I think it's multiple things that
judgment.
Yeah, judgment.
Okay, so mental health conditions are all around us. I mean, you guys can see them on TV. When you look at society, you see wars, rumors of wars, right? Even COVID. I know COVID it's impacted everybody in some way, mentally, emotionally, right? Socially. It has changed life as we know it. When you think of the social aspect, we got celebrities slapping one another. You cannot deny that there is some mental health issues in play. We're talking about politics, presidents, education. There is every aspect of our lives is affected by mental health. Because if you have people, you're going to have mentalities. And if you have mentalities, you got brokenness. We live in a broken world. And so therefore, there are going to be broken situations which affect our mind. So I believe everybody needs mental health treatment. Everybody needs techniques that help them with their mental state. So let's go ahead and get into 10 myths that we are going to debunk about mental health. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. So the first thing is, if I need mental health therapy, something is wrong with me. Well, like I said, something is wrong with everybody. If you live in this world, you are going to have interactions with people that are going to hurt you. right? If you live in this world, you are going to encounter people that are going to maybe kind of tell you something that you don't want to hear. You're going to go through events. You're going to go through situations that are not most ideal. And if they're not most ideal, they tell you something about yourself that you don't necessarily need to embody. Some of us walk around with mental health conditions that we have not addressed. Everybody has an issue. Something is wrong with everybody. It's just the world we live in. Number 2, it's too invasive. It's too intense. I can kind of imagine a situation where I'm laying on a couch, right? And there's a therapist getting in my mind. They're digging into my soul. They're getting in my business. They're talking to me and they're, using all these weird shrink techniques, right? I know that that's what some of you guys are thinking about, but that's not what it is. It's actually very, very therapeutic. It's a gentle process. It's soft, and we let the client lead. Most of us are not very directive. However much information you want to divulge, that's what you do at your pace. So it is not this intense, weird situation where you are being told what to think and, you have to do all these gymnastics in your mind. It's not that. So let's debunk that myth. Third, I don't want somebody in my business. Mental health is not somebody getting in your business. As a matter of fact, if you're thinking of it like that, then there's probably many things that you need to talk about. It's basically you airing out concerns. You are getting things out of your mind. You're detoxing your mental state. We're talking about things that matter to you. We're looking into your value system, your family, where you come from. We're talking about issues that you have not addressed. That's what it is. Don't think of it like somebody's in my business. As a matter of fact, you probably need somebody in your business, because even the Bible says, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety, right? Purposes are disappointed where there is no counsel. No man is an island. Why would you feel like you don't want anybody in the world to know what you're going through? You got to have somebody hold your hand. I don't care who you are, how smart you are, how fabulous you think you are, how much of a boss you are, right? How much of this person that everybody thinks is so strong. You need some mental health treatment. We all do, especially in the day and age that we're living in. So it's not that you're not strong. It's not that you don't have it all together. It's just that you need somebody else to help hold your hand and help you process life as it happens. Next, I don't trust anybody like that. So if you're thinking, I don't trust anybody like that, there's a chance that you need mental health more than anybody else, because maybe there's some trust issues. Maybe you had issues with relationships. Maybe it's in your family. Maybe it's with a job or some type of career path, and you've been hurt. You're damaged goods. So you find it difficult to trust people. Well, guess what? If that's the case, then you're going to maybe back away from situations that you should be approaching, right? You don't trust the next person. You don't know how people are going to handle you. So you don't go for your goals. You don't go for life. You shrink back when you're supposed to go forward. All of that has to do with people. Trust issues hold you back from your next. Trust issues keep you small. Trust issues will not allow you to launch out into the deep and let down your net. Trust issues stop you from becoming all that you're supposed to be. And so sometimes you need a therapist to help break down those issues. Let's go back. Let's go back to your childhood. Let's go back to those relationships. Let's talk about where the hurt and the damage went forth. Because if we can dig all of that up, we can unearth the venom. We can talk about the toxicity and what keeps you toxic as an adult. And so talking about these issues, it's not somebody getting in your business. It's somebody holding your hand and helping you process all of them. And we all need that. Number 5, mental health therapy is for the weak. So if you're thinking that doing mental health therapy is for somebody that's weak, that is completely wrong. That is completely wrong. The strongest of us need mental health therapy. As a matter of fact, if you think that you're strong, you need mental health therapy more than anybody else, because there's a lot of people relying on you. You probably carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are that go-to person. You're the individual that everybody is counting on, right? You have the answers. You're the one that gives the advice. You're the one that maybe you're the breadwinner in life. You're this individual where people, they look up to you. And so that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot to carry on your own. And so unless you give some of that to someone else to help you carry, it's going to be too weighty. And so it helps you to kind of lift that burden, right? You feel like something is weighing you down. You feel like something is not okay on the inside, but you have to keep on going and you have to keep on moving. Well, mental health therapy is going to give you that space where you just stop and take a breather. Yes, it's going to help you process your own issues because you're helping everybody else process theirs. So it's very important that you consider this space for yourself. And yeah, it's okay to be a little bit selfish, right? You're the person who's never selfish. So mental health therapy is going to allow you to be you in that space alone and help you to just serve yourself. Oftentimes people like you don't serve yourself. You serve everybody else for you before you serve yourself, and therefore you get the last. You get the scraps, right? You get the scraps from your own table, and that's not okay. That's not okay. Number 6. My issues are not that big of a deal. Oh my goodness, have I heard this time and time and time again. Your issues are not that big of a deal. When I hear that phrase, I hear minimization. So if you're minimizing your issues, whether it was something that had to do with relationships, or maybe it had to do with some childhood trauma, or maybe it had to do with a loss, right? Or grief, or anything at all, you're thinking that, there's somebody else that has bigger issues than me. Let me allow someone else to have that space. Well, guess what? The fact that you minimize it means that there might be a mental health concern. We never want to minimize our issues. If it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal, right? It does not you don't have to compare it against other issues. You don't have to compare your stuff against somebody else because something small to them might be big to you. Something big to them might be small to you. So it's all about how you feel about it. So you have to tap into that feeling. How do I feel about my past? How do I feel about my present? How do I feel about my future? What's the beat that I have on the inside of me? What's my overall disposition about who I am? Tap into that. If you find that there's a rift, if there's some incongruency, if you're not satisfied, right? Soulfully satisfied. If you're not soulfully satisfied about any of that, you have a right to discern, do I need some help? And if you need some help, it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that. There's always somebody out there who knows more than you. And getting in a space where there's someone that can help you, whether it's find solutions or maybe someone who can just help you think from a different perspective, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's all good. Number 7, I've worked through all of my issues on my own. I think that that's excellent. If you could work through all your issues, then you've done great work by yourself. You've done your affirmations, you've done good self-talk, you've gained different perspectives about it. You processed whatever it was that was holding you down. I think that's excellent. But there might be some residuals. There might be some residue lurking in the undercurrent of your life that you have not processed. And once you get in the presence of a mental health counselor, they might ask you some questions and it might bring up something that you have not properly addressed. So go ahead and seek out some mental health therapy and talk about it again. Rehearse it over again. Get in that mental space that you were in when you worked on it by yourself and see what comes up. Number 8, I don't need anybody telling me how to think. Well, we don't tell anybody how to think, guys. What we do is we add value to your thinking system. We also give you different perspectives. We also offer solutions, right? This is us just helping you paint another picture or color it differently. Sometimes mental health issues arrive because of the way that we think. It's just the shading. It's the coloring, right? And we add another layer to your thinking system and we subtract toxic ways of thinking. And people are like, oh, wow, I've never thought of it like that. I've never seen it in a positive light. right? And so sometimes we take the past that you have, because ain't nobody trying to change your past. We can't do that, but we just help you to see it differently. If you can see things from a different point of view, you will feel differently about it. And if you feel differently about it, you'll have a different mood and you'll walk differently, right? You'll talk differently about it. It affects your overall chemistry. So sometimes depression, anxiety, right? All types of different social issues, sexual issues, whatever the issue is, if we can process it and gain a different perspective, you'll come out a healthier whole being. Number 9, I'm afraid of what I'm going to find out about myself. Well, if you have fear, then you are the person who needs to be in our chair. Fear is an indication that something is wrong. If you have fear of actually getting something out of you, it's that fear that is letting you know that there's something there. Fear of going forward and talking about an issue lets you know that you have something that's unprocessed, and it does need to be talked about. It does need to be explored. It needs to be eradicated from your soul. This is soul chat, y'all. We're talking about things that have to do with the soul. And oftentimes things are lodged in your soul that you don't like. Therapy helps you talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? If the ugly remains there, if the dark remains there, it's going to start impacting the rest of your life. It's going to start affecting the areas that you don't want it to affect. Your relationships, the way you make money, the way you deal with your family. All of that, it's all from the realm of the mind. We live life through our mind. The soul is the mind, the will, and the emotions. You have to make sure that you have a healthy soul. Without a healthy soul, you don't have a healthy life. Number 10, it's secular. It's demonic. Something is not quite right with it. It's too of a sterile process. Well, that is not how it is all the time. As a matter of fact, if you have a preference, you can seek out a therapist that integrates the spiritual with the clinical, right? So you don't have to go with someone that thinks on a Darwin level or, some other type of therapy or theories out there that you don't agree with. You could actually go to a Christian therapist who believes the way that you do, and they'll integrate all of that together, because the way I do therapy is holistic. So spirit, soul, and body. We have to have all of them working in order to produce a healthy you. So I would seek out therapists that believe like you, that walk the same walk that you do. That way you're going to get all of it. And so you're going to get help with your mind, you're going to get help with your body, and you're going to get help with the spiritual aspect. If one of them suffers, the whole unit suffers. So you have to have all three working. Therefore, the therapy will actually continue in your life, and you will have techniques in every single area that help you live your best life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to invite you, go ahead and go to our website. We've got lots more content there. You can download articles, some bonus stuff there. We invite you, dig in, okay? And stay tuned next time for more soulful satisfaction. I'll see you then.